I saw this video posted by our friends over at Clown World on Twitter. Give them a follow if you haven't. I like this account. They're always posting funny videos. Clown World _ on Twitter. Animal rights protesters trespassed onto a duck farm, chained their necks to the slaughter line, then suddenly the machine switched back on and started to move while they were still attached. The only reason, to be honest, that this story is actually funny is that nobody got hurt. A guy almost got hurt, went to the hospital. He's fine. He said he wanted to press charges. The story's actually old. It's from 2019. But, seeing that it's going viral now, I definitely wanted to address it and people are talking about it, give you the context as to what it is. And then, oh boy, do I really want to talk about this one? I have some advice. It's simple advice. And that advice is, do not chain your neck to a slaughter line. So apparently what happened, just so I don't bury the lead here, the switch to turn on the slaughter line is outside. An employee did not know. People broke into the building, chained their necks to it, and turned it on, apparently as is routine. The activists claimed that the employee was angry for them trespassing, and he turned it on purpose. I got to be honest, man. I just don't believe it. I don't think, look, my opinion, my view on this is that it is more likely if these people came in to the chicken place, the employees would be like, I don't know. Like, what do I do? Like, why would I care? Like, imagine working at a Baskin Robbins and someone comes in and starts screaming and like chains themselves to the ice cream machine so you can't open it. Are you gonna be like, how dare you? And I'm gonna turn the freezer on you. Some people might, but I think for the most part, the employees are gonna be like, okay, I guess, what do you do? Do you call the police? I really doubt the employee was like, ooh, I'm gonna show these guys, hits the button. Like, you kill a guy? No, I don't think anybody wanted to murder these activists because they were being dumb. I think you chain your neck to a slaughter line that is intended to slaughter ducks, and this might actually happen to you. Let me, they filmed it too, which is, I think, honestly, I would not be surprised if the whole thing turned out to be a publicity stunt. So let me play. They have this.
We're here at the Reichert Duck Farm, and you can see on the gate
talking
they have
a bit about it. I'm not going to show it. There's nothing graphic in it. Nobody got hurt.
Area. But on Monday, a group of protesters who were trying to rescue animals entered anyway. And as you'll see in a moment, what they did was most certainly at their own risk. Video sent to ABC7 by activist group Direct Action Everywhere shows terrified protesters crying out for help as a duck slaughter processing line that they're chained to starts to move.
Okay, I figured it out. Do not chain your neck to a duck slaughtering line. There was one guy, I don't want to call it graphic, but I'm not going to show it anyway. It's a point in the video where no one's going into any slaughter. There's no blades, nothing like that. It's just going around and he's just too big. So he's being pushed and trying to maneuver his head. And then he says, I was feeling my life leave my body. My guy, you were fine, okay? This thing probably doesn't have the mechanical power to actually harm a human significantly. You know, it's like you put a duck on it and then it ends the duck's life. It'll probably hurt a person, but I think you're very large. And I think the weight of a human can probably, if they all just hung from it, would break it. Because they're talking about, how many activists are there? Like 8 activists? You're talking like 1,300 to 500 pounds. Really, especially some of these guys they're big dudes. Okay. Let's say $1.50 each. I would just estimate 1,300 pounds, maybe 15. Now, maybe that's way too low. I don't know. I don't want to say everybody's 200 pounds. You know what I mean? But they're probably, the women are probably around 120, 130. The men are probably around 160, 170. So, this was in Petaluma, California. The signs at Petaluma's Reichert Duck Farm says keep out biosecure area. Video sent to ABC7 by activist group Direct Action Everywhere shows terrified protesters crying out for help as a duck slaughter processing line they're chained to starts to move. They were claiming they wanted like press charges or something. Panic set in when the machine started pulling. We need to stop this now. Almost decapitating my head from my neck, said Chang, who spoke to ABC7. I was feeling my life leave my body. They knew that doing it was chaining themselves to a machine built to facilitate death was dangerous. But it says we have to escalate all of our actions because this is a global crisis we're under. All right, let's play a game. In my previous segment, I talked about a chicken shortage and an egg shortage. I would like to introduce you to the animal activists who are making sure you can't eat. They want you to eat the bugs. They want you to live in the pods and eat the bugs. Why won't you live in the pod and eat the bugs? Is it because you're a bigot? You're not a white supremacist, are you? Well, that's certainly the only explanation in their minds. It could be, in fact, that you just enjoy eating eggs. You enjoy eating duck eggs. You can buy duck eggs. Have you guys ever had duck eggs? They're hearty, sticky. I got to be honest. We buy them because you can buy them out here really, really easily. Some people just have ducks all over the place. And you can actually raise ducks and chickens together so long as they're babies together. That's my understanding. And then you get duck eggs. And ducks are funny. And they make funny sounds. Just like chickens. Just kind of different. Duck eggs have a thicker shell. And I guess it's like a more nutrient-dense yolk. So it's good. I prefer chicken eggs. I like it. They're fluffier. I don't know. It's just me. But anyway, my point is this. Look, we eat animals, okay? That's just it. We do. Even when we're killing plants, don't come to me and be look. I'll make you the. I'm gonna explain you what for. These vegans, these vegetarians, nah, they got it all wrong. Let's say there are two farms. On one farm, Farmer Joe and his family mind their own business. They tend to their crops, and they're self-sufficient. They bother no one. They grow the corn, they eat the corn. Then, across the way, you have the farm of Billy Joe. Billy Joe's not interested in really farming. Him and the boys, they get their guns, they go out, and they start raiding and looting other farms, and then just pretend like we're just a little old farm. But they get their resources by taking it from those who grow their own food. Now tell me, who's the bad guy? Come on. You know who the bad guy is. The guy who's going around stealing the food from the people who grew it themselves. So let's talk about it. Vegans and vegetarians, what do they say? It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I don't want to eat animals. They feel pain. Well, hold on there a minute. Animals walk up to this plant minding its own business, growing its own food, sourcing its own energy from the sun and the water and the earth. And it's saying, hey, nobody else was using it. I know there's some carnivorous plants, but we'll just put that aside for now. Little old spinach plant. What's it doing? Hurting nobody. Minding its own business, growing its own energy, when along comes Mr. Pig. And Mr. Pig is like, I'm not going to grow my own energy. I'm not going to be self-sufficient. I'm going to take from you. And the vegans have us convinced, these activists have us convinced that the pig is a good guy and we should eat the spinach. But spinach doesn't have nervous system. Are you saying, you're saying they don't have feelings? Well, we should raise and loot the farms because those farmers, they're not part of the greater. No. Mm-mm. I think the animals are the bad guys. And I think we, as apex predators, are doing a service to the innocent by eating pigs, cows, etc. What are these ducks doing? They're eating bugs. What did the bug do to them? Well, here's my point. The argument, in my opinion, about veganism and activism falls flat. I don't like animal suffering. I think that, we should have more clean, for our sake, and, humane slaughtering processes. I'm not saying all of them are bad. I've seen dairy farms, and in California, I'm impressed. The activists act like cows are being whipped and beaten. And, I hear these stories where it's like, did you know that there's pus and blood in your milk? And I'm like, okay, dude, look, I've seen the California dairy farms. It may be fine. It might happen. But I watch these cows. I've seen them at multiple farms in California. I kid you not. The story I tell is that I went to the farm, talked to the farmer. We knocked on his door, said, hey, we're journalists. We're interested to talk to you about the water, the drought, the crisis. And he's like, oh, yeah, for sure. I'd love to. And then I said, I got a question. There's no gate. There's no fences. Or it's like, there were some fenced-off areas, but there's nothing stopping the cows from leaving. And he goes, oh, yeah, they leave. And I was like, the cows leave? He goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, hold on. Your cows just leave, and you don't care. And he goes, well, they come back. I'm like, what do you mean they come back? Why don't they just leave? And he goes, where would they go? It's a weird question. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, I don't know either. There's food here. There's water here. And they get milked here. Why would they want to go anywhere else? It's cow paradise. So the way it works is the cows eat all the food they want. There was, I think it was alfalfa, not corn. Then they leave. They cross the street. They go wherever they want. They could even go on someone else's land. Nobody cares. I guess as long as they're not eating someone else's crops. He's like, I don't know. Till the cows come home. They go out and graze. They come home. They eat some of the food he has prepared. And then when the cows get full and they want to get milked, the cows walk into a machine, milks for them. Not even a person there. That's crazy. I didn't know that until I went out there. I think animal activists are not all bad, but I think so many of them just don't know what they're talking about. And then you got to wonder about, chaining your neck to a slaughter line. But I'll tell you this, I think it was a stunt. Again, it's an old story, but I thought it was funny, so I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.